Now a hush falls over the crowd. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to the Carroll County Chamber's annual State of the County meeting, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Christine Walters of 5L Company, and I am your outgoing chair of the Chamber of Commerce. This will be my last official meeting of the Chamber, and we'll pass the gavel later this morning towards the end of this meeting. And I will pass the gavel to our 2013 Chairman of the Board, Steve Wantz, Executive Director of the Carroll Community College Foundation. Steve, would you please stand and be recognized? First thing I'd like to ask, if you would put your phone, notepad, any electronic device, either turn that off or put that on silent. That would be appreciated. I want to start this morning with some welcomes, some thank yous, and some introductions. First, thank you to the Community Media Center, who is here again this year to cover our event. And yes, we will be streaming live, so everyone will be on their best behavior. Special thanks to Caitlin Lockard and Joey Lance and the career and technology students in the media program and here today learning by doing for the Media Center. Thank you. I would also like to thank and welcome our Board of County Commissioners for being with us today. Commissioners Robin Frazier, Commissioner Haven Shoemaker, Commissioner Dave Roush, Commissioner Richard Rothschild, and Commissioner Doug Howard. Should I say in no particular order?
That was by district.
Or maybe there was a secret order.
Could be about beauty.
We also have other elected officials with us today, and I would like to recognize them as well. Mayor Kevin Utz, the City of Westminster. And Mayor Neil Roop, the Town of New Windsor. And from the Board of Education board members Virginia Harrison, Gary Bauer, and James Doolin. I'd also like to recognize an appointed county official who is with us today, Stephen Guthrie, Superintendent, Carroll County Public Schools. And I am particularly pleased and honored to give thanks and to present and welcome Mike McMullen, President of the Chamber. We also have with us this morning a number of former Chamber chairs of the board with us today, that is the Carroll County Chamber Board. If you would each stand and be recognized when your name is called. Steve Aquino, Aquino and Walpole Financial Group, Dave Bollinger, Barnes Bollinger Insurance Services, Ellen Finity Myers, Carroll Hospital Center Foundation, Dr. Faye Papalardo, Carroll Community College, Mike Schenk, M&T Bank, and Brenda Fisher, Carroll Community Bank. Would you please stand? I want to note that Brenda is finishing serving 6 consecutive years on the Chamber's Board of Directors, and in accordance with our bylaws, must step down for at least 1 year. We would like to extend our appreciation for such dedicated service and ask Brenda to come to the stage to receive our thanks. Surprise. Brenda, since you're stepping down and we are in essence giving you the boot, we thought the appropriate recognition would be the brand new Golden Boot Award. Woohoo! So on behalf of the Board of Directors and the Chamber staff, thank you very, very much. And please know how much we appreciate you and all you've done. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun. The Golden Boot. And that was Mike's idea. Just want to make that perfectly clear.
So surprising.
Shoo. I would also like to recognize the members of Leadership Carroll Class of 2013. Today, the class is focusing on local government, and I would like to ask that class to also please stand and be recognized. Leadership Carroll is a partner program of the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce and Carroll Community College. It is a 10-month program in which existing and emerging community leaders participate in valuable training and networking activities all over the county. This outstanding program has been in existence for over 20 years. If you would like to be placed on the waiting list for next year's class, which starts in September of this year, please contact the Chamber office. This year's program is being held in the beautiful Carroll Arts Center. We'd like to express our appreciation to Sandy Ox, Executive Director of the Carroll County Arts Council, for making this theater available to us. Please join me in welcoming Sandy Ox to the microphone.
Good morning and welcome. We here at the Arts Council are very excited that in April we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary in this magnificent facility. Actually, a few days ago it did not look quite so magnificent. It was dirty and dusty and it was filthy. We had art classrooms upstairs that we really didn't know what color they were anymore. There was this layer underneath your feet of M&Ms and gum and soda. There were nail holes everywhere, from wreaths, artwork, peeps, all the wonderful things we hang on our walls. So we actually closed for a week for the first time in 10 years to spiff up the joint, and you are actually the first audience to enjoy this fresh new look, which means if you spill your coffee, I will be crying on live stream TV. But I do want to thank my board of directors for allocating $50,000 for this project, to the Carroll County Rec and Parks Department for giving us a self-help grant for the painting, and for the City of Westminster for helping us find a facade improvement grant. We could not have done this without you. We have quite a few repairs left to go, including a sound system upgrade and some exterior repairs, but we will all be ready for our anniversary in April. But certainly I can't complain about the dirt and deplorable conditions that were here. They were the result of activity and enjoyment. We're now hosting more than 35,000 visitors each year, and the wear and tear on this facility is the result of education, entertainment, and enlightenment for all of the people that pass through our doors. How many of you have never been here before? Okay, go to the box office after the program. We've got tickets for you to come back to see what this place is all about. As business leaders, I encourage you to use the Arts Center as a tool to attract customers to the area, to attract employees to your workplace, and to ensure that disposable income stays right here in Carroll County. If you're not already a business member, we extend an invitation to you to sponsor a concert or a film and enjoy the marketing opportunities that come with these partnerships. In short, we need each other. Well, in closing, since I am the arts lady here, I want to do a little arts analogy. I'm sure everyone would agree that everyone's favorite color right now is
Purple.
Right. You remember this, right, from elementary art class? Sure. You got your primaries, your yellow, your blue, your red. You mix yellow and red, you get orange. You remember this?
Sure.
Okay, good, good, good. I know it's early. But remember, to get our favorite color, purple, you need to mix the red and the blue. It seems right now our society is so polarized. The red states versus the blue states, the liberals versus the conservative, the right wing versus the left wing. We are so passionate about our primary colors that it doesn't even seem we're looking for middle ground. But if we, as involved citizens, along with our elected officials, can mix up these red and blue mentalities, we can probably solve a lot of the problems that are facing us right now. So remember, in everything you do, mix the red and the blue, and you'll have a color worth cheering about. Thank you.
So creative.
you, Sandy. That was great. Our sponsors are very important to us and allow us to offer events like this to you, our members, and the community. Today's corporate sponsor is M&T Bank. Our sponsor's message today will be delivered by Mark Blackston of M&T Bank. Mark?
Awesome, Sandy. And you know when you take like the Patriots, they're blue and red, and you mix them together? For the past 5 years, M&T Bank has been and continues to be a proud partner with the Chamber of Commerce and the Carroll County Arts Council to host this important community event. So thank you, and thank our panel here today for providing this open forum to the Carroll County business community. Over the past 5 years, I've enjoyed the opportunity to represent M&T and speak with each of you about various topics, ranging from obviously football and the NFL, the changing seasons, choosing a financial partner and New Year's resolutions, and using these metaphors and how that relates to how you do your banking. This year I decided I've done enough babbling about stuff like that. So it's time for me to be short and simple. So as a surprise to my colleagues, and they're all going to be extremely mad with me tonight, I was wondering if they could all just kind of come up here and stand right in front of the stage. So I need Mike, Dave, Joe, David, Michelle, Linda, Cheryl, all to come up real quick. Got a fun little surprise for, you know, because I do all the talking every year. I'm kind of tired of that. It'd be great for some other folks to help me out. We're going to do the top 10 reasons why to deal with M&T Bank. Before we do that, can anybody tell me what the very first top 10 was for David Letterman? Anybody? I didn't know either. I had to Wikipedia it this morning. It was actually not, I was actually kind of let down. The top 10 was the top 10 things that almost rhyme with peas. I mean, whoever thought that up? It wasn't that cool. I wondered how they kept doing it. But anyway, so we're going to do the top 10 reasons why you should deal with M&T Bank. So we'll start with Mr. Joe Wierzinski, number 10.
They need the mic.
Number 9, your office is your M&T branch with our mobile deposit for business app.
We understand what's important to small business.
Number 7, your dog will love the biscuits from our Meadow Creek drive-thru.
We offer one of the best interest rates for owner-occupied commercial real estate.
M&T is the #1 SBA lender in the state of Maryland and in Carroll County.
Need an extra $75? Open a new qualified account and it's yours.
To have the chance to work with all of us.
Why not?
And true Ravens fans bank with M&T. Where else can you get the official Ravens check card? So there's your top 10 reasons why to deal with M&T Bank. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Mark. If you're interested in sponsoring a chamber event in 2013, please see Mike McMullen before leaving today, as there are sponsorship opportunities available. I also would like to give special thanks and recognition to Joan Kleinman, District Director from the Office of Chris Van Hollen. Thank you for attending today as well. Are there any other elected or appointed officials here today that I have missed? All right, good. Thank you. Thank you all. Now, let's begin our program for today. The Carroll County Chamber of Commerce is pleased to present the 2013 State of the County Address. This year, Commissioners Robin Frazier, Haven Shoemaker, Dave Roush, Richard Rothschild, and Doug Howard will briefly, 3 to 5 minutes, share some information with us, and they will be available for questions afterwards. So I have to tell you, I asked Mike, well, what if they go over like 3 to 5 minutes? Who gives them the, you know, and he said, you.
The boot.
So it is the job of the outgoing chair to gently and politely watch the clock. So I'll be seated here in the corner, and around 4 minutes I'll stand, but again, 3 to 5 minutes, that's appreciated. Doug Howard is serving as president of the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Howard represents District 5, which covers the southeastern portion of Carroll County and includes Eldersburg and Sykesville. the founder of Startup Carroll and former director of Carroll Area Transit Services. Commissioner Howard owns BDG Entrepreneurial Services in Sykesville. This is his first term as county commissioner. Please help me welcome Commissioner Doug Howard.
Okay. First, I have to take a moment of indulgence before the time starts running. We have, just the way it has to be. We have a county employee that is leaving us this week. She's retiring this week. She is someone that has worked tirelessly for this county. She is synonymous with Carroll County government. You may have met her through housing or through aging or through transportation or through a whole host of other things she does. She's up in the back. Could you just please help me give a round of applause to Jolene Sullivan? And there's one more point of order, Christine. I already told them they could probably have 6. So they're going to have to work with us just a little bit. Well, first of all, good morning. As a former Chamber Board member, former community college instructor, and member of the leadership class of 2003, I am pleased to see this thriving program and want to thank you for having this event and for the Carroll Arts Center for hosting us. The state of Carroll County is strong. We have a balanced budget for 5 years out. We have reduced taxes, reduced debt, and maintained our great credit rating. We are building a new school, have kept up our commitment to ag preservation, and maintained infrastructure. We have withstood a steady stream of federal and state regulations and a staggering array of new costs, including $4 million in teacher pensions. We have fought to maintain the independence of Carroll County, from our master plans to Plan Maryland opposition, from our own regulations to the resistance of state and federal overreach. We have fought to uphold the U.S. and Maryland constitutions and protect your rights. This board will decide if we succumb to federal and state mandates, fiscal uncertainty, and political rhetoric only to weaken Carroll County, or if we will build on our strength, invest in our future, retain the best, and chart a course all our own to keep Carroll County strong and the best place to raise a family, educate a child, start a business, operate a farm, retire, celebrate America, and serve as an example to others. Some will say our best days are behind us, that we must hunker down, reduce more staff, eliminate key programs, and accept the mediocrity leaving us in an infrastructure in decline, public safety at merely adequate levels, and education funded at state-allowed minimums. I wholly reject this notion. In our lifetime, a president told us that our best days were behind us. We were to blame. We should lower our hopes and lessen our dreams. Fortunately, another guy came along who saw us as a shining city on a hill, encouraged us to dream big dreams, and reminded us that freedom was not passed along in the bloodstream, but it had to be fought for. He challenged us to restore our pride and our strength and our confidence, because after all, we are Americans. I am proud that last year this Board of Commissioners took a conservative budget and made it more conservative. We've done a lot with taxes. I'm proud this board has reduced taxes. Taxes are taking your hard-earned money, put burdens on more businesses, and stand in the way of our economic recovery that this country needs so badly. Therefore, it is my hope that this Board of Commissioners will find a way to do something this year to reduce the local income tax rate. If there are not funds to do that, I hope that with the one-time funds that we have available from our fund balance, that we will at least look for a way to do something in the way of a one-time credit or abatement of property taxes. However, let me be clear, I will not support any further tax reduction if it means failing to adequately fund public safety, infrastructure, or education. We are wise to manage our debt, and unlike the federal and state governments, Carroll County only incurs debt for long-term assets, not for operations. We inherited declining debt, accelerated that by eliminating $40 million in projects, just sold the Wheeler building, and authorized the sale of 23 more properties to further accelerate debt reduction. But we can do more with the one-time money that we have available to us this year. Economic development is a primary objective of this board and the way we will support the future needs of our county. Again, this is something where we need to look for one-time opportunities to fund our economic development infrastructure. We must attract, motivate, and retain the best staff. Carroll County is blessed with outstanding employees at all levels and in all departments. Many are the best in the state at what they do. We must approve employee raises this year. They will be the first since 2009. And if revenue does not allow for that, then we must again take one-time money and at least make sure that bonuses are given so that our folks do not lose weight. I am proud of our pilot program to provide shuttle service to the VA hospitals for our veterans. We must continue this program. But our veterans have another need. Veterans are waiting up to 3 years for benefits to be approved. With only 15 service officers across the entire state of Maryland, we get one person 1 day a month. Having met with Secretary Chow of Veterans Affairs will provide the training and accreditation for a Veteran Services Officer for Carroll County if we will step up and fund that position, and we need to do that. Our Celebrating America program continues. In just a few months, we will be rolling out our 100 Keys to History, seeking private funds and using volunteer efforts to tell the story of American history at 100 locations throughout the county. It will enhance our community, be a tool for educators, and a destination for tourism. Later this month, I will also ask my colleagues to start this process by dedicating our meeting room, room 003, as the Ronald Reagan Boardroom, a permanent display including pictures, artifacts, and a letter that he wrote to Carroll County on the event of our 150th anniversary. Education. Education is the most important investment we make in the future of our county. It includes our schools, our libraries, and our community college. Strong education drives home values, business growth, it lowers crime, and is our solemn commitment to the next generation. We must fund education at $164 million. And if there are not sufficient revenues to do that, we must fund at least $2 million over maintenance of effort and make up the difference with one-time funding that can be used for technology and other one-time needs. If there is any remaining fund balance, we need to restore the technology fund that has existed in the past for the schools, the library, and the community college. Technology is not something where we can fall behind. Beyond funding, I will seek the support of my board and ask the Board of Education to develop and implement plans, A, to bring civics and local history back into the curriculum, B, to make each school a showplace of American history and American heritage, C, to use innovative ideas, technology, and available space already in the system to dramatically expand the capacity of career and tech programs without the addition of a new building, and D, to include the modernization and replacement of Charles Carroll Elementary School in our 5-year plan. And so I ask the citizens of Carroll County to support and my colleagues to pursue a course to keep Carroll County strong, financially, technically, patriotically, strong in public safety, infrastructure, and education, and strong in a way that reflects our values, our commitment to our families, to our country, and to God. It will not be easy, but it can be done. And why shouldn't we believe that? After all, we are Carroll Countyans. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Howard. Commissioner Dave Roush is serving as Vice President of the Board of Commissioners, a former member of the Board of Zoning Appeals and the Economic Development Commission. Commissioner Roush represents District 3, which is comprised of Westminster and the surrounding area. This is his first term serving as County Commissioner. Please help me in welcoming Commissioner Dave Roush.
Good morning. Good morning. And thank you for this opportunity to be here to share some information about our business climate and our expectations for the future. Last March, the Commissioners reorganized the Economic Development Department into 2 main areas of focus: strategic accounts and outreach, and small business development. With that in mind, 2 administrators, Jack Liburn and John Wheatman, were hired to perform duties under each of these areas. Jack Liburn is responsible for the attraction of new business, as well as the retention of our local industries, and to ensure Carroll County is a viable option and a favorable place to locate and conduct business. With John Wheatman's leadership, we have created the Carroll Business Path. The path is a conduit for small business development ventures in the county. John drives this process by acting as navigator. I think I speak for the entire board when I say this reorganization has proven successful. The year 2012 was an improving year for our local economy, and we began to see businesses plan for and actually implement growth plans. Last year, we added $17 million to our taxable base, with nearly 500,000 square feet of new and renovated commercial industrial space. Carroll County's vacancy rates in the retail, office, and industrial sectors are lower than those in the Baltimore market. A local manufacturer Kenora Brake Corporation made the right decision by remaining in Westminster for a large expansion of their operations. The county worked closely with state and Westminster city officials to ensure that Kenora's 230 existing workers, along with 70 expected new jobs, remained here at home. Kenora is making a capital investment of over $20 million to build a 240,000 square foot plant, which represents a significant addition to our economy. Joseph A. Bank Clothiers has continued on its growth trajectory, now occupying 3 sites in Carroll County. With over 600,000 square feet of space in the county, the company continues to work on plans to expand its Hampstead corporate headquarters. Carroll County had the largest lease deal signed in 2012 as Merit Properties re-signed Dow Tile to nearly 500,000 square feet of space in Eldersburg. The Princess Shopping Center is expanding with a retail and residential component. The Air Business Center in Westminster took on several new tenants. Flowserve Corporation expanded last year, and we are working with them on the possibility of another expansion next year. In terms of small business support, our Business Navigator has seen approximately 90 clients since the program began last May. In addition, the commissioners worked with the state to create a $1 million revolving loan fund that is dedicated to small business ventures and expansions. The outlook for our economy is good. Currently, we are working on 14 active development projects. We are expecting the expansion of at least 5 resident industries in 2013 and are working closely with 2 large interests outside of the county. We expect at least $32 million to be spent on the construction or renovation of commercial and industrial space this year. Though times have certainly been rough, Carroll County has been fortunate to survive and even thrive during the last several years. We boast one of the top-ranking public education systems in the state, plus quality options for higher education at Carroll Community College and McDaniel College. We are fortunate to have Carroll Hospital Center here, to have the lowest crime rate in the state. We are all here committed to growing our business tax base and to working towards future tax relief while providing more jobs and high quality of life. We all know that economic development is important to create jobs for our citizens and to alleviate the tax burden on our homeowners. There's also another area of importance that is impacted by a healthy and growing business climate. That is our cost to borrow money. In late October, representatives of Carroll County met with 3 bond rating agencies in New York to give these agencies information about Carroll County, its economic development outlook, and its financial condition, as input for their deliberations on what rating to give our bonds. We received high credit ratings from all 3 agencies. These ratings allow Carroll County to sell its bonds at very reasonable interest costs, creating savings for county taxpayers. On November 8th, Carroll County sold approximately $37 million of general obligation bonds. This sale allowed the county to retire over $17 million of older, higher interest debt. By retiring these bonds, we will save almost $1 million in debt service. The county had 14 bidders for these bonds, all of whom offered less than 2% interest. 9 of these offered less than 1.9% interest, and the winning bidder got the bonds at a rate of 1.806%. Our economic outlook is positive and improving, and we are all optimistic. Thank you for your attention and your support.
And thank you, Commissioner Roush. Commissioner Haven Shoemaker was elected to 2 terms as mayor of Hampstead before being elected county commissioner. He represents District 2, which covers the eastern portion of Carroll County and includes Hampstead and Finksburg. This is his first term serving as county commissioner, and he is secretary of the board for 2013. Please help me welcome Commissioner Haven Shoemaker.
Preliminarily, before my time starts ticking. There was a reference made to the color wheel, right? And you said that the red and the blue of the Patriots colors equal purple. Well, what happens if you factor in the paint from Tom Brady's undergarment? That's what I want.
He really said that. He really
Get the hook.
Good morning.
Yeah.
It's an honor and a privilege to be here for the third of these, and as you can tell from looking at me, there have been a lot of chicken dinners consumed in that period of time. But I'm here to tell you quite confidently that the state of the county is strong. Yet the actions that this board will take this budget cycle, I believe, will go a long way towards determining whether or not we remain strong. Now, a lot of that strength that we see today comes from actions that this board has taken, and I want to take a minute or two to talk about some of those now. For the last 2 years, we've cut the property tax rate, and I believe we're the only county in the state of Maryland that can make that claim. We've taken a huge step forward in the realm of public safety by moving ahead with construction of a new, long-awaited training facility for fire, EMS, and even the use of law enforcement. Previous boards talked about that. We're doing it. We've expanded the availability of the Fallen Heroes tax credit to those public safety personnel who've been disabled in the line of duty. Through Commissioner Howard's leadership, he alluded to it a moment ago, and through a partnership with CATS, we've implemented a veteran shuttle to take veterans to VA hospitals, and we're the first county in the state to do that. We've reduced the county's bond indebtedness by $17.4 million from fiscal year 11 through fiscal year 13. Annapolis and Washington should take note. It's possible. And I know I've mentioned this in previous addresses. We've also taken steps to impose term limits. We've implemented a supermajority requirement to raise any county tax. We've implemented an E-Verify requirement for county contractors to make sure that taxpayer dollars go to tax-paying, law-abiding citizens. We've switched to the Sheriff's Department, which results in a savings to the taxpayers of between $2 and $3 million a year. We've restructured our cabinet, resulting in more taxpayer savings and a whole lot more. Now, those are actions that have strengthened Carroll County, no question about it. But the budget cycle we're about to enter into will go a long way towards deciding whether we remain strong. You see, local government has three core functions: public safety, educating our kids, and infrastructure such as roads and the like. And with our commitment to the training facility and the Sheriff's Department, I think we're addressing the public safety prong. Education, however, is at a crossroads. Each of the last 2 years, we've been able to get a majority vote to adequately fund our public school system, which is one of the tops in the state. Now, some of our board have openly expressed a desire to fund schools at the bare minimum required by law, as opposed to keeping their funding flat, as we committed to do with the budget we adopted this year. And that's about a $3 million swing. And the superintendent has said such cuts could mean the elimination of 150 jobs, closure of the outdoor school, and a myriad of other bad results. This prospect, I would submit to you, should make you and the business community very nervous, because it doesn't bode well for having quality schools or a trained workforce or the ability to attract new business to Carroll County. Those results should be unacceptable to you, and I would urge you all in the business community to express those feelings openly as we head into the next budget cycle. Lastly, we have to continue to emphasize the importance of investing in our roads. You see, there are a lot of citizens out there who don't have kids in school and don't use our wonderful park system, but everybody drives on our roads. We added $2 million to that road fund last year. We need to do better. See, sometimes leadership requires inspiring folks with a little optimism. Chicken Little pessimism just won't get it done. As Reagan said, in this blessed land, there's always a better tomorrow. I'm optimistic that by holding the course that we've set, Carroll County's tomorrow will be even better. Thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner Shoemaker. Commissioner Robin Frazier is serving her second term as County Commissioner, having served from 1998 to 2002. She represents District 1, which extends across northern Carroll County and includes the towns of Taneytown and Manchester. Please help me welcome Commissioner Robin Frazier.
Good morning this early morning. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about the state of Carroll County. You've heard it said that where there's no vision, the people perish. And I believe that it's paramount that this commission board get a vision with some specific priorities, that we bring along our cabinet and build a team, and then see that those priorities are accomplished. Many of you probably know or have heard that my brother passed this week. And he's an inspiration to me over these last couple of days, the things that I've learned. And Bob had a vision. Bob was a pastor at the Elijah Free Church in Carroll County. He was a full-time substitute teacher at the North Carroll Middle School. And a young teacher got up to speak at the funeral. And he said, you know, I met Bob, I was having some problems, and he prayed with me and he helped me. And then Bob said, you know what, we should pray for the school once a week. And so at 6 a.m., these two folks began to pray for the school and pray for each other and pray for revival, that people would be strengthened to be light and to serve each other in the school. And the teacher went on to say that it was funny that after a couple of weeks, a lot of teachers left the school, and about a dozen new teachers came, and they were all Christians. And they joined that 6 a.m. prayer group where they prayed for each other and they prayed for the school, that they could be light and salt within that school. Well, it wasn't but a little bit of time, and Bob got cancer. And but he stayed focused on his vision during this very difficult time in his life. The school and the teachers loved Bob. They called him the chaplain of North Carroll Middle. And they wanted to raise some money for him, so they had a rec night, and they invited families and children. There were over 100 families and children there. And they asked Bob to get up and explain to the children what was going on. So Bob spoke to the group after they had their rec night, and he said, you know, I have cancer. He explained all about it. He said, I'm praying that the Lord will heal me, but he might not. He said, and the cancer might get the best of me, and I might go home to be with the Lord. And he said, but don't be sad, because I know 100% that I'm going to go to heaven, and you can know that too. And Bob shared with those children how they could know that their eternity was secure, and many of them settled that evening. You see, Bob stayed focused on his vision. And even during the difficult times, he used that as an opportunity. And that teacher said at the viewing that, you know, their prayers were answered at that time for revival. And Bob leaves that legacy. He leaves that legacy in his church, in his work, which happened to be North Carroll Middle School, in his family, and in his community. And you know what? I want to be like Bob. I want this board to be like Bob. I want to get a vision for revival. First, let's revive our economy. We've already begun. We've reduced taxes. My goal is 5 cents. We've got 3. Hopefully we'll get 2 more this year in property taxes, income taxes, doesn't matter. Looking forward to continuing with that. We brought Jack Liburn in. I just want to say that Jack knows the county, he knows the players, he knows the brokers, he knows the state programs, he knows how to make things happen. And we're going to see some new businesses come to Carroll County in 2013. And I want to thank you, Jack, for coming back and serving again. Part of my vision for reviving the economy, we will continue to work on the economic relief phases. That's where we're trying to reduce regulations and streamline things. There's still some more work to do there. The goal is to make government quicker, easier, and cheaper for businesses. Because when individuals and businesses are doing well in the economy, the government is doing well. That's where the revenues come from. I want to continue the industry visits that I'm doing, but I want to step it up, like to do that weekly or bi-weekly, so we'll be working on that. We're looking for ways to make government the right size, spending less, borrowing less. Again, when we make our citizens and businesses successful, then we increase revenues and we reduce individual dependency on government services. I want to get off the dime on this IT upgrade. We seem to be going in circles, but we need to invest in an IT plan today in order for the dollars to have dollars tomorrow when we can serve better with less increases in personnel, less time, more data, and intelligent decisions based on analysis of good and timely data. To expand the vision to revive the economy, I'd like to run a series called Getting Government Out. I want to take a look at some different sectors and the struggles they're having, get them to report to the board so that we can direct some task force to solve some of those problems. I want to take a look at permits and inspections and some of the challenges that are there so we can just make it better. Maybe in the area of restaurants, hotels, with increased fees and health department pressures. And maybe in the area of landowners and landlords regarding building codes and livability codes, and especially with older properties and historic properties. I think we should get the landfill to work for us. I believe that waste is becoming a commodity. There are people right now, entrepreneurs, thinking of all kinds of different ways to use waste products, whether it's biomass or plastics or even the leachate, how to clean the water. I think we should sort of make our landfill an incubator for those folks. Say, come on, take a little piece of land, get your prototype, use our waste, and check it out. Maybe we'll have a couple businesses that can then manufacture something that they prove to be worthwhile. The second part of the vision for revival would be to revive the American spirit. And I would suggest that we continue to market and recognize the Freedom Shrine Project that Lynn Wheeler from the library picked up and put a task force together, and she's kicked it off and beginning to carry. And I do want to thank Commissioner Howard for starting the Celebrate America, where we make a big deal out of the holidays that emphasize our history and activities and highlight our true American history and heritage. The library will highlight the Freedom Shrine, which is a group of documents, historical documents and documents that represent things that have happened in our, throughout our history that are important. For example, the I Have a Dream speech by Dr. King. So be looking for that. Every quarter they're going to highlight 3 of those documents in the library branches. They're going to have some other books that support what those documents stand for, and they'll have some special speakers and so forth. I would like to continue and support support and expansion of a project that the Department of Social Services is doing, where they give folks the opportunity to volunteer, those that are receiving assistance, to give back to the community, to begin to, and the county has opened up a bunch of opportunities at the county where they can come to work on time, they can learn good work ethic, how to dress, maybe get a good reference for their next job, or maybe get a county job if something opens up. We want to help people to become self-sufficient, to be contributors to the community instead of being those that need assistance. And this will strengthen our community. I'd like to expand the vision to revive the American spirit by protecting the freedoms of our citizens, especially at the local level, do what we can to keep our people afloat while they are being pummeled at the state and federal levels with fees and taxes and costly regulations. We want to do our best to resist in a strategic way the overreaching unconstitutional rules and regulations that steal our citizens' rights, whether it be property rights, gun rights, freedom of religion, or freedom of speech, and by monitoring better what is being taught in the public schools. In the last election, it seems like everything I voted for lost, except for Andy Harris, who was a shoo-in. And it made me think about what was happening, what we were teaching across America in our schools. And so I fear that by allowing ideas like tolerance, where anything goes, instead of acknowledging right and wrong, that the good of the many should overrule the rights of one, how to be an activist, taking the truth out of our history and out of the required curriculum and substituting it with unsubstantiated environmental science being taught as truth, loving creation more than the creator, capitalism is bad and social equity is good, free markets are driven by greedy, uncaring people and it's bad for society, government's role is to control the people, we heard a student say. God has nothing to do with the founding of our nation. We are losing the American spirit of entrepreneurism, love of country, God and man, personal responsibility, and service to others. The state of our county is dependent upon people like Bob, who love the people in the community and always think of ways to lift them up and to serve others. Those at church, the community, and at home. Bob's vision will go on because he stayed focused on it. He led others in it during very difficult times. He never forgot it. He didn't give up. He picked it up and made opportunities out of challenges in order to reach the goal. He inspired others. I know there are many Bobs in Carroll County, and that's why our school system is one of the best in the state. Crime is lowest in the state, and we have fantastic volunteers and partners who make good things happen. People want to live here. I want to be like Bob, and I hope our board can catch a vision. We can stay focused no matter what the trial, the fiscal cliff, state and federal overreach, new fees and taxes, whatever trial comes our way, that we will make a commitment and focus and a vision to revive the economy and to revive the American spirit here in Carroll. And as we inspire others like Bob did, we will have a legacy that we can be proud of. So may you all be successful in 2013, catch a vision, stay focused on it, never give up, lead, inspire others, and when you do well, the county will do well. Thank you for your attention, and God bless.
Thank you, Commissioner Frazier. And Commissioner Richard Rothschild is in his first term as County Commissioner. He has worked in sales, marketing, management, and operations of a Fortune 100 high-tech firm. He served as acting chairman of the Governor's Science and Technology Education Task Force in 1991. He represents District 4, which includes the southwestern portion of Carroll County. It contains the towns of Union Bridge, New Windsor, and Mount Airy. Please help me and welcome Commissioner Richard Rothschild.
Good morning, Carroll County. Good morning. Commissioner Howard asked me to go last today. I'm not sure whether he asked me to bat cleanup to generate excitement, or whether he's hoping we'd run out of time before I got a chance to speak. Fasten your seatbelts. The attack on our freedoms and our property rights is really a symptom of a deeper problem. You see, no county is a cocoon. We are heavily affected by things outside of our borders. Shifts in political winds have been targeting your unalienable rights that prohibit the taking of property without due process and just compensation. They do this because we let them. And there's several reasons for this. Number one, a fundamental disrespect for the Bible and Constitution often comes from those who know the least about either. The Bible played a foundational role in the creation of our Constitution, and our Constitution is the basis for all laws and limitations on government. The purpose of the Constitution is not to give you rights, but to protect those unalienable rights given to you by God, life, liberty, and property, otherwise known as the pursuit of happiness. Second, we fail to articulate our values. Officials across the state have said to me, don't talk about the Constitution when you're in Annapolis. They'll just laugh at you. I disagree. That's why every official should be talking about the Constitution every day in both Annapolis and Washington, D.C. See, we allow them to silence us when we fail to lead with our values. When we cede control of our schools to federal and state curriculum mandates that have things in them that are un-American. The new Common Core standard will become a de facto national standard, even though it was created by states. And make no mistake, we will not be able to change it, and history and science are coming next. When new septic laws demand we administratively create new zoning maps that violate existing zoning rights. And if we refuse to do so, new restrictions will take effect anyway. A dozen counties have not drawn these maps. Cecil County signed a resolution declaring their actions to be under duress and protest. Our commissioners have refused to submit and draw tier maps, but the sudden death property restrictions will take effect anyway. You see, we should have gone one step further and nullified the bill. Unconstitutional administrative rezoning has no authority in law and should be thrown out. In a constitutional republic, the majority has no authority to vote away the rights of the minority. Why did they do this? Because we let them. And they say, well, Commissioner, we're not taking away anybody's rights. We're just putting on environmental restrictions. Save it for somebody that has gullible stamped on their forehead. If they take away your rights to buy ammunition, they abort your Second Amendment rights. And if we take away your rights to use septic systems in rural areas, we take away your rural property rights. See, the war on rural Maryland has many fronts. There's a new Maryland stormwater tax coming, also known as the driveway tax, that demands that we apply new taxes to you based on the size of your roof and driveway, clearly targeting suburbia. Yet in Virginia, a federal court ruled recently that water is not a pollutant, and the EPA is overstepping its bounds. We should follow Virginia's lead and start fighting back, but that takes money. 2013 will also mark the beginning of the attack on private transportation. They are targeting private cars that they say, quote unquote, detract from the local economies. So why does Annapolis do this? Well, because we let them. Elected officials take an oath to support the Constitution, and then they ignore it. And they continue to push or allow more government overreach. Do they think the Constitution is unimportant? I hope not, because it is what protects each of you from government going wild. Upholding our oath of office, even at the local level, in support of the Constitution takes practice. That's why I'm adopting a philosophy of WWJD with a twist. What would Jefferson do? Here's an example of the problem. While at Mako, I asked several officials what they would do if they were ordered to confiscate their citizens' guns. 3 said, I don't know what I would do, Commissioner, and the other 3 said they would resign from office. Not one official mentioned nullification, interpositioning, or the constitutional role of an elected sheriff in defense of your unalienable constitutional rights. There is a fundamental lack of understanding of the oath and powers vested in their offices. Local officials are our citizens' last line of defense against overbearing government and its increasing contempt for your freedoms. In our efforts to be reasonable, we have tolerated the intolerable. Now, we must work together to resist the excesses of the upper levels of government, and there's good news on the horizon. Carroll County is a charter member of a new rural coalition of 10 rural counties working together to create a unified voice and stance for rural counties in Annapolis. We helped create the new Clean Chesapeake Coalition, consisting of 7 rural counties working together to refocus efforts on cost-effective strategies that will actually solve environmental problems at an affordable price. The one thing that every environmental abatement program has in common from Annapolis is none of them have been put through a cost-benefit analysis. And the de facto strategy of the Maryland Department of the Environment of everything, everywhere, at any price is not a formula for success. It is a formula for bankruptcy. What can you do? Well, support our efforts to invest in initiatives that refocus government on sound science, sound economics, and a valid cost-benefit analysis. Otherwise, new taxes and new regulations will eventually crush rural homeowners and businesses and steal your freedoms. And finally, tell your elected officials at all levels of government to uphold their oaths of office. Thank you, and may God bless Carroll County.
Thank you, Commissioner Rothschild. The 5 commissioners will now answer questions from the attendees. I know we have about 5 minutes before the end of our scheduled program. We want to respect your time, but we also want to respect your questions and the information that can be shared. So we invite you to hang with us, stay for another 5-10 minutes as we wrap up and continue the program. If you have a question that you would like to ask, please stand, move to one of the microphones on the outside aisle, state your name, and ask your question. Commissioner Doug Howard has the honor of deciding who will answer your question, unless your question is directed towards a specific commissioner.
I won't answer any questions.
Sure.
My name is Doug Howard, I'm a local business owner, and I grew up in Carroll County, and I live here now. One of my questions is, what is being done to bring high-speed internet to the entire county, not just along the main highways and in town? Because this is a rural community, but the world operates on the internet now. I have trouble running my business because I can't send my customers the information they need or get the stuff I need from them. What's being done so that I don't have to pay Comcast $20,000 to come a quarter mile down my road?
So the question is, what is being done to bring high-speed internet to the entire county instead of just along the main roadways?
Yeah.
Commissioner
Beth, I'll share your pain. I'm in the same situation. We have been trying to work with Comcast for the last 2 years now to bring changes to their contract because Comcast is one of the only high-speed broadband providers, and of course they merged with Verizon DSL. And we have asked for changes to our contract that would at least give our citizens the opportunity to get their own easements and to do their own trenching, because we believe they could do it for a fraction of the price. Another thing is there's new technology emerging. We call them last-mile providers. I had HughesNet satellite dish that provided moderate service. I've moved to Verizon 4G. They have something called MiFi. And if this new contract goes down as we hope it will go down, we will have other options with respect to laying the last few thousand feet of cable. But it's still a problem because when you have a regulated monopoly, what happens is they go for the low-hanging fruit first, and it's very difficult to get them to want to wire up those rural customers. So it's still a problem, but we're making a little bit of progress on it.
Could I just add that when the backbone is completed, that we're working on, which will be complete this year, we do have fiber available for competition, and I think that we should actively be looking for someone who can use that fiber and give Comcast a little bit of competition. Competition is good, and we'll see what we can get with that.
Okay, next victim.
Any other questions from the floor? All righty then. I want to thank everyone for their effort, for an excellent program. Thank you to each and every commissioner this morning. I would now like to call our new chairman of the board of the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce for 2013 forward to the podium for the passing of the gavel, Steve Wance. Steve, I just want to say very quickly to you, to Mike, to every member of the board, thanks for all your support in the last year. It's my pleasure and honor to pass this to you as my successor. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine, and don't go too far. It's also been a real privilege to work with Christine and to work with all the members of the Board of Directors this year from the Chamber. Christine, on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Chamber of Commerce, I want to extend our appreciation to you. Christine has worked very tirelessly in the past year. She's done and really initiated and driven a number of key projects to really help this chamber remain strong. And on behalf of our membership and on behalf of the board, we want to say thank you. will keep the remainder of my comments very brief in the interest of time. I am proud to be a part of this organization. I'm a native of Carroll County. I've worked in the county my entire career, and it means a lot to me that Carroll County is a successful place to live, work, and play. And I do want to thank Mike, and I want to thank the staff at the Chamber as well for all that they do day in and day out to help represent the membership of this organization. And this coming year, we certainly want to continue to grow on that. The Chamber financially is at its strongest point in a number of years, and we're very proud of that because of that, we can represent you and your interests much better. And so we want to continue that. We want to always be open to the thoughts and the comments that you all may have for us and things that you could share with us that would, again, continue this path towards success for the Chamber of Commerce. But thank you all. And with that, I want to call Mark Blackston up. I think we've got a purple container here that he'd like to give away this morning.
All right, it's the Ravens Good Luck Basket. Let Steve pull out the name.
What happens if I get my name?
Oh, I'll hand it right over.
Better not be your name.
Paul Hassman. Congratulations. Thank you.
Mark, thanks again for the support of M&T for sponsoring this event as well. And I will now call upon Mike McMullen to come up and give us some closing remarks.
My brother said 2 important things before he passed. He said, I can't wait to see you.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Welcome on board, the board, as the chair of the board. It's going to be great to work with you. And Christine, it's been great working with you throughout the year. How about just, I'd say one more round of applause for those two. Excellent job. I want to thank Mark and I want to thank M&T. We can't do these things without folks like them, and as they said earlier, we do have some other meetings during the course of the year that if you'd like to come alongside of us and sponsor, we would welcome them. Sandy Ox, thank you. Beautiful facility, nice and clean. I didn't spill any coffee, so we should all be good with that. I do want to thank you. The Community Media Center, thank you again for being here. You guys always come through, and we're extremely lucky to have you here in Carroll County. I also wanted to thank our commissioners. You guys were all very good. Kept to your time, mostly. Mostly did very well. If you enjoyed hearing them speak, we don't try to keep them always entirely muzzled as far as their time frame, because we do 5 other breakfasts throughout the course of the year, 1 in each of their actual districts, and they can talk up to half hour, even longer. So I would ask you, if you'd liked this, we'd like to have you come along to those during the course of this year. But one thing that always occurs to me when I'm sitting out here and I'm watching this happen is we build relationships here. That's what we do. And it's important to have as good of a relationship with other businesses and with your elected officials. Human nature being what it is, anybody have any questions? Nobody asks any questions. I mean, even Beth, who likes to ask questions all the time, doesn't ask a question, because why is that? People normally don't like to stand up in a room like this, you're being streamed live, and ask a question. But when people leave here, they're going to be like, can you believe what that one commissioner said? Can you believe they're going to do this? Can you believe nobody ever said this? Can you believe this? Can you believe that? Well, I can believe it, because that's how problems happen, from that lack of communication. So they're here, catch them afterwards, talk to them. If you've got some burning thing inside where I think this should have been said, how about trying something unique? Instead of talking all about it with all your friends, talk to them. Maybe you can help them see the light, as you would see. Or maybe they could help you see the light. But that's what helps bring things together and gets sides working together so that red and blue can become purple. We actually communicate and talk and respect one another. So I would challenge you, if you catch yourself talking about something today, especially in like a negative way, even in a good way, pick up the phone and call one of them and say, that was an excellent point that you made. Like I'd say Commissioner Howard and Commissioner Shoemaker, excellent point about the educational aspect. I agree with that. I think that's important to let people know. And just, if you've got opinions, please let them know. Other than that, Thank you to our class of 2013 Leadership Carol. Awesome. These guys are going to have a wonderful day. And if you want to be a part of Leadership Carol for this next year, I've got about 5 or so on the list, but please give me a call. I'd love to get you on board. With that being said, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.
See, you're a troublemaker too.
We're not dragging on till 9:30.